Hello and welcome everyone to the very first broadcast of the Go Mode Podcast Twitch account. This is a week 2 match of our Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tournament. On our left here, we have elias5891 being guided by Mentor Chisame. It's one of those. We'll get it before the end of the race. And on our right, we have racer TheDaddyGamers being mentored by Espeon. So very excited about this one. Excited about our first restream. Being joined by my co-commentator, also a racer in the Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tournament, Blackwax. How you doing today, Blackwax?
I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent. So definitely looking forward to this one. For anyone who's not familiar with the format of this Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tournament, first of all, it's going to be a standard Uncle Assured normal race, not hard or easy or insane or entrance or anything like that, just very straightforward. And the whole kind of idea of this tournament is each of these racers, Elias and TheDaddyGamers, as you can see, have mentors that are going to be, they're watching the streams along with them, and they're in a private voice chat together. So whereas our racers, Elias and TheDaddyGamers, are newer, sort of newcomers to Randomizer, their mentors are anything but. In fact, they're grizzled vets, we would say. So they're going to be helping them out behind the scenes, giving them advice on routing, on glitch execution, just kind of anything they can offer to help their racer be the one who wins the race. So we should be getting started pretty soon, I would imagine. Blackwax, as a racer in this tournament, what was your experience having a mentor guide you through one of these seeds?
I really liked it. He stopped me from doing a few things that would have cost me extra time that in the end I would have lost had I done. And so it's really cool because they really know what they're talking about. And if you listen, because they give you the option to not listen. They're not like, you have to do it this way. If you just listen, things will pan out pretty well for you.
Awesome. And it looks like we are underway here. Let's see what's in Link's house. The single arrow. Okay, so we got that one out of the way. So as you may know, if you've watched a decent amount of these standard races before, typically what our runners are going to be aiming for is something around like a 6-minute escape by the time they're making their way out of the sanctuary, or into the sanctuary, I should say. You want to see right around 6 minutes. There's our power gloves very early. That should be interesting.
That makes it so that if they don't get bombs, they can get back down into the back of escape.
That's true. That will definitely have some implications for logic. Hopefully they just find their bombs here and escape. Don't really have to worry about that, but it's definitely good to know that it'll be pretty easy to get back there once they do obtain those bombs if they don't find them this time. So yeah, they're going to be aiming for a 6-minute escape, and that's kind of, we're maybe a little spoiled when we watch these tournaments. It's usually pretty far into brackets, and we fully expect our runners to get that sort of perfect execution. With our racers, you can imagine they'll probably run into some stumbling blocks here and there, but in the matches that we've had in the first week of this tournament, saw a lot of very impressive escape times and execution. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see 6:30, maybe 6:45. So while we're just kind of going through escape here, not a whole lot's happening. Want to continue to sort of set this up a little bit. So we have been conducting this tournament. Go Mode Podcast is a podcast about a link to the Past Randomizer, in case you couldn't kind of put that together with the context clues so far. But we have thrown this sort of small community tournament, and we've been conducting it primarily out of our Go Mode Podcast Discord, which is pretty active. We have 32 newer racers, mostly made up of listeners of the show that are participants, and then a pool of more experienced mentors. So all of the matches so far, we've just been sort of putting on a multi-stream, watching that, and we'll have maybe one person jump on a race voice chat in Discord and just sort of talk while everyone else hangs out in the channel and listens to them. That's been our commentary. Then we also have a live races chat in there, and that's sort of been our chat. So we've kind of been doing like a poor man's sort of restream for all of these matches. And now we've, thanks to Vash1978, shout outs to you, and thank you for tracking as well. We got the opportunity to do this restream. So very, very excited to be able to offer this to our viewers. Another nice thing about this is I imagine we'll probably be able to pop this out to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, and thanks for checking it out. So as of right now, it does look like we have Elias just a little bit ahead. Did you happen to see Blackwax? What happened that gave Elias the edge so far?
It really is just movement. Like, TheDaddyGamers keeps hitting like the edge of a wall or something, trying to go upstairs or through a door. He stepped to the side of the chest when he was trying to open it, stuff like that.
Okay, so just sort of little execution things. And again, definitely don't be surprised to see some of that stuff. A lot of these racers, while good enough to finish a seed, which don't get me wrong, I mean, that definitely takes a lot of work to put in. Again, these are not the ones that you normally see at the end of the brackets. And I think that's been something that's been really fun about this tournament is you're kind of seeing new players, learn on the fly and gain knowledge and get excited about, getting their times lower and lower, in practice and in these races. So it's been a kind of a fun journey, and I'm sure we'll probably see some signs of the mentors helping out, even just kind of in the execution of both of our runners' races here. So we'll be on the lookout for that too.
So they did both manage to get a bomb. Elias actually got 2.
Excellent.
3.
Oh, and we have a death over on Elias' side.
The stun prize is a bomb drop. Oh, that's rough.
So to have to take a death, have to say that was a pretty fortuitous place to do so, because as you saw, it pretty much starts you right back in the throne room. All things considered, very little time lost there. So that's fortunate, if you have to take a death, that it would be there.
Yeah, he only lost about a room. Although TheDaddyGamers is only about a half a heart, and a death for him would be pretty costly at this point.
Yeah, that would be a little more costly, being a lot further into back of escape, where they are now. Let's see if they get something to replenish their health in here.
Well, there's hearts under the pots. That'll help.
Yep, and TheDaddyGamers did go ahead and utilize that, and also taking the back way out of the back of escape. I like seeing that. If you have enough bombs, which I could maybe see a case for hanging on to those, but still, like you said, with the stun prize being bombs, why not just save yourself a little bit of time so you don't have to double back and use that northern exit.
Yeah, it does save time, and with the stun prize being the bomb, that is just fine.
Okay, so yeah, here comes TheDaddyGamers, about a 6:45 escape, which is sort of what we had predicted, and then Elias will be coming in just a little bit later, as we know, took a death in there, so that's understandable. But still, basically we're looking at 7 minutes, well, maybe a little bit more than 7 minutes for Elias, but still very good. So I find myself constantly wondering what sort of things the mentors might be saying to their runners, especially when it's not really a critical sort of moment like here. I mean, this is going to play out pretty much the same way in most seeds. You're just going to check these sort of standard checks and make your way into Kakariko. Is it pretty much silent, or are they kind of talking about some things right now, I wonder?
Well, through escape, they ask you, like, what are the things you're comfortable with? What are the things you've done? How long have you been playing? Stuff like that. Try to get a feel for, like, where you're at with the game. And then when you get to this point, you can see Elias actually saved and quit, and he's going to check Dam and South Shore. and Daddy Gamers went up to check Lumberjack Cave. I didn't see what was on there. And so it's kind of like, well, okay, after escape, I've got bombs, I've got a sword, so I can do this thing over here. Is that a good idea? Or so like when I asked, should I save and quit or should I go into Kakariko? And my mentor said, Kakariku's right there. There's plenty of value unless you really think you're going to find a bottle somewhere else, which is really just a gamble at that point.
That makes sense. And yeah, Oro pointing out there was just a hard container on Lumberjack Cave, so we might get away with not having to do Aga. We'll see. Another weird thing about this tournament, just kind of one of those things, is we've had a lot of Aga seeds rolled just out of, just happens sometimes. That's rando. So
an unbelievable amount of Aga seeds. It's like a couple of us have been making the joke, me included, that it's the Go Mode Aga tournament.
Yeah, but hey, I love that because a big part of this tournament is education, and there's nothing to educate you quite like an Aga seed.
Well, me and my friend that's also a runner in this tournament, we were talking about like, okay, when's the ped seed going to show up? And he was like, it'd be really, really apt if the finals, the best of 3, are all ped seeds.
Oh, one can only hope. Man, I would be so thrilled. That would be incredible. Let's see. Elias over here, heading into Paradox Cave. I think I saw him pick up something of importance, but it wasn't important enough for me to remember what it is. Oh, the ice rod. There we go. Okay, so that will probably have to come into play. I guess we'll find out once we see our crystal structure in Dark World.
Yeah, we haven't seen a map check yet.
No, we have not. That's interesting.
I mean, it's not a big surprise when you're an experienced runner. A map check isn't usually the first thing you go for. Is where like you see like the high tier runners, people that would be like a mentor, they'll map check on their way into escape or as soon as they get out.
Yeah, I've sort of seen kind of both. Ooh, there's the hookshot nice rod cave. Glad we made some time for that. Yeah, I've sort of seen both. I've seen kind of the meta where it's like, don't check until you absolutely have to because you're going to do all the same stuff at the beginning anyways, which is kind of what we're seeing. And then, I've also seen, knowledge is power. I need to know as soon as possible so that I can start planning out my route in my head accordingly. And here we have it. So we had a blue crystal on Hera, and I saw the red pendant in Eastern Palace. Did you happen to see what desert was?
No, I didn't.
Maybe our tracker will get it. The bow was in the well. Shout out to Oro. Thanks for the heads up on that. I did miss that. So we've got an early bow. You have to imagine that.
And a lamp.
And a lamp. Okay. So definitely
so Eastern.
Yeah, sounds
Death
very
Mountain.
appealing. Death Mountain as well. Absolutely. It's too bad Eastern is a pendant. I probably would still go over there. In fact, I'd probably be more motivated to go over there because it's purely an items check, and it's very early. So I think that's pretty appealing.
Yeah. Something to look for would be if you find the Master Sword or the Cape, I would just go straight to Aga, especially considering how this tournament's gone.
This tournament, yeah, you've got a pretty solid bet that that's what you were supposed to do. Yeah, that's fair.
Was that just money in the library?
I believe so.
Wow, that was a quick check for the race game. I missed it.
I missed that one too. I was
barely on screen.
Yeah. I can't imagine it was anything too important if they just left it like that. So we'll just assume it was a chump change or something. So we had a pretty massive route divergence right from the beginning with Elias going down to Swamp and starting there. And I love seeing that sort of variation that you don't normally see. But unfortunately, I'd have to say there seemed to be a lot more items in Kakariko. So it, if anything, seemed to maybe benefit Daddy Gamers a bit.
Yeah, there was definitely more in Kakariko. And now Daddy Gamers is going to check South Shore. So, in the end, that just equals out.
Bit of a wash. Yeah, that's true. I can't really think of anything, any advantages that one got by being at one side with those items over the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I assume TheDaddyGamers is probably going to hit up Eastern next because, I mean, they've got the bow and the lamp, and they can just clear it out.
It does seem to be sort of where the seed is leading us. Quick update: looks like Desert Palace was a red crystal, so might be seeing our check on that sooner rather than later. Yeah, Oro says tiny movement advantage with the hook shot. I didn't really see him utilize it, but that is your point stands. All right, so let's hope that Daddy Gamers does play this out fully and head over to Ice Rod Cave and get their hook shot. Looks like that's where they're headed, so that's good.
Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. They don't have the money for Zora yet, so there's not a whole lot of incentive to go fake flipper right now.
Yeah, especially without the Moon Pearl. I think it'd be pretty hard up to find folks that will make that, do a fake flipper without the Moon Pearl and go all the way up there and not even be able to get the stuff that's in the Waterfall of Wishing. For those who don't know, for some weird reason, the Moon Pearl has to be in your inventory in order to be able to fake flipper into that cave. Has something to do with checking the link status when you walk out, whether you have the Moon Pearl versus when you don't, whether it decides if you're on solid land. So something like that. All we really need to know is the important takeaway is if you don't have Moon Pearl, you can't fake flipper in there. So don't bother. So now, yeah, we almost kind of have a divergence again. Very, very close to one after going completely different places. Looks like they're both opting for the Death Mountain play instead of Eastern.
Yeah, I would pass up Death Mountain right now. You got the Old Man and Spectacle Rock. That's only 2 items. Eastern Palace is 3, plus a
Well,
hospital hut.
Don't forget, we've got the hook shot, so we can head over.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we can head over to Paradox
that does make
and
it more
Spiral.
tempting.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got
items,
8 there.
9, 10.
Yeah, plus the ones up on Hera. So. Oh, what an unfortunate dead rock. I hate that.
Dead rocks are probably my least favorite thing in this game.
Yeah, if Wall Masters weren't a thing, I would definitely say dead rocks, but unfortunately, Wall Masters are a thing. Oh, okay, and Daddy Gamers takes a death, but fortunately, it's
he got
probably one of the better places to take one. Yeah, it's literally going to be right inside the cave he was just outside of, so could have even been intentional to get a health refill. He got rocked. So one of the things I've really enjoyed about this tournament, and really any tournament, is seeing everybody's preferred sprites. On the left for Elias, we have, of course, the classic Moogle sprite from the Final Fantasy series. And over on the right, we have Shantae from the Shantae.
So fun thing about the Moogle sprite is that it's not just from Final. That's where it originally is from. But Nintendo also put it in Secret of Mana.
Right,
when you get transformed, you turn into a Moogle.
Yeah, there's like a plot point where like you have to like unturn yourself into a Moogle. Yeah. Ooh, and Daddy Gamers nails that bomb jump in Spectacle Rock. That's a tough one, and they nailed it first try, so that was awesome. Also wanted to mention we got a hint about our purple chest in Spectacle Rock. There is a unique item there. So that's a check that doesn't always get checked depending on the seed. This time, have to imagine they probably will make some time to go over there and find out what that unique item is.
Especially since the single arrow has already been found. So it's not, not a garbage item.
That is a good point. Yeah.
Well, I guess it could be the bug net.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of garbage it could still be, but that is at least one like sort of whammy, you know, that's out of the question now, which is good.
Ooh, there's the Master Sword.
Master Sword, very good. Well, I mean, it could lead us to Aga, as we know. It's sort of,
yeah,
you know,
that's and the mirror.
Mirror. Well, with the mirror, I have to say I probably would go ahead and head over to Hera and see what's going on over there.
Yeah, I would too. It's a crystal, right? Yeah, it's a pendant.
Yeah. Oh, it is the pendant. Okay. And earlier we were saying Eastern Palace was a pendant, so that was I could have swore I saw that, but I guess not. In that case, it is actually pretty surprising that we didn't see either one of them go to Eastern, even though, you know, it's 6 items versus the 8 to 11 that we have up here. You know, when the seed gives you a bow like that, it's tempting not to go to Eastern, but the amount of checks, yeah, and the lamp, exactly. The amount of checks up here, I guess, just made it make more sense to come up here. So.
I mean, it is more item dense, and that is one of the things that the mentors try to
so
teach
our
you.
tracker's been updated. So yeah, okay. I thought I was going crazy. No worries, Vash. I was like, oh man, I can't believe how many times I said that and it was wrong. So yes, the Eastern Palace is a pendant, as we were saying before. Not as much incentive to go over there with your bow, you know, given that it's a pendant. And okay, so when Elias takes a save and quit. Oh, okay, just going back to the mount. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they probably will go ahead and head up to Hera. And TheDaddyGamers doing the same thing. I would be willing to bet just about anything that was them walking over there and both of their mentors saying, just go ahead and save and quit. It's going to save you several steps and several seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely a faster way.
All right, so we'll get to see a couple of Master Sword Moldorm fights. That should be fun.
If they decide to clear it, if there's no item, if they get both items before they get to Moldorm, then they might not go for it.
Well, it is a crystal.
Oh, you're right. So there will. Okay,
yeah,
there would be no reason not
that was
to.
what. Yeah, that was what got switched around. So yeah. And there's our big key. We'll definitely go ahead and grab that. I guess no coffee break probably, unless, you know, as you mentioned, the item count kind of makes us do that. Also, another heads up play to use the mirror there instead of walking back. And unique item in Super Bunny Cave. And there's our half magic.
That is a good thing to find early.
You know.
So I like watching people go through that first upstairs room in Tower of Hera because every single person has a different strat.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, and TheDaddyGamers did what I do, which is charge up a spin slash right there and then let the 2 on the side have it and then just dispatch the 1 in front of you. I like that because you get 2 with 1, but I have to say Elias handled it pretty handily as well. Okay, we've got our bug net on the western wing of Swamp Palace, and I think the other one was Compass or something like that.
Yeah, Compass was in the big chest.
So yeah, I can't imagine we'll be seeing the western side of Swamp Palace in this particular seed.
I don't see why we would.
Unless we
if you can skip left side swamp, do it.
Yeah, there's no chance that we see them do that. Even, you know, somewhat newer runners, as we've said, there's no way that they make the time for that. They'll be just fine without that net.
I hope the mentors are writing down the that hint, because remember the first game, all 4 people forgot about the
yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, we had 4 people miss a hint that was that was definitely read by both racers. Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was an anomaly, hopefully. And Elias taking down Moldworm with no problems whatsoever. Very impressive.
Even with the rage mode, it didn't even phase him.
Very good.
TheDaddyGamers getting the terrible RNG where he just gets stuck in the corner forever.
Yep. And Elias, I thought maybe they had their final item left to go, and it looks like they have confirmed that by walking back in, and that they are gonna take a quick coffee break at that second item. What do you think about this, Blackwax? Would you do this?
I mean, I feel like at this point you have to, because if there's something like the Moon Pearl down here, and I assume there is because it gave them the mirror, so it would suggest there's something in Tower of Hera that's necessary. Then you need that, and after you beat Aga, in order to continue on. And like, if you skip it, this is a really out of the way location, and it's a lot faster to do it now than to do it later.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would come back and do this. I like your point about the mirror kind of pointing us here, and that being further evidence to do it. I think mine would just be the more simple one that you said, which is I don't want to think about the consequences if there was something up here and I didn't check it. So it ends up just being bombs.
Wrong.
But again, I don't blame the play at all. And as we have the benefit of being able to see, both of our racers opted for it, so sort of a wash in terms of overall time.
Yeah, I got on my seat. I got to skip the basement tower because I didn't have a fire source, and then later on, instead of going back to it, I managed to get a hint saying it was a piece of heart. So I got kind of lucky in that, but
yeah,
yeah, it's. I mean, that's another location that if you can skip it, you do it, but if you don't know, then you have to go there because it's so out of the way.
Yeah, especially when we're still hunting for Dark World access, and the Moon Pearl is really we gotta find that Moon Pearl, and we can't we have to leave no stone unturned until we find it. In my opinion, that's how I play.
Yeah, Kane and Red Armor were in the back of Sahasrala's hut.
Ooh, very nice. And yeah, it's been interesting to see. We really only had one or two chances for any real divergence, but despite that, we have both of our racers on the same track doing the same thing. And I'd say TheDaddyGamers is maybe 30 seconds behind, something like that. But even in crystal and items. Yeah, at this point, it's essentially Eastern Palace or Agina. Of course, we do technically have Zora within logic because we did get gloves. I know nobody wants to go up there and pay 500 rupees to see whether or not they might have Moon Pearl, but what do you think? Would you go to Zora before you went to Aga?
It depends if I have the Moon Pearl. I'm going to Aga first because I have the mirror and I can always go check Catfish and Zora at the same time.
Yeah, well, I guess I mean I guess we have a few other checks. We have Agina. I don't think anyone has checked. There could be a Moon Pearl there. But there is one very special place that the Moon Pearl can appear that is pretty trolly, but also pretty fun to watch. Do you know the place I'm talking about? Yeah, the pyramid ledge. So
yeah, that's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, I think I would probably check every single available location before I would do that. But there's also something to be said for just like calling the shot and being like, I know there's Zora, I know there's Agina, I'm just going straight to Aga. Because you're gonna have to do it. You can always go back to the light world and get it, and then you've already beat Aga like you had to, So I don't know.
Well, yeah, and they've got the mirror. They can just take the 2 steps and mirror right there and save and quit and go wherever they need to in the late.
Yes, we'll have to see what they choose, or maybe it won't matter. Maybe we'll find our Moon Pearl here in our Eastern Palace. But until then, we will continue to speculate wildly.
I personally, I will hunt down the Moon Pearl, like, fervently, because I've had some terrible luck with places Moon Pearl. Like, one time it was in Checkerboard Cave.
Ooh, I love that one too. That's the other dark horse. Great place to have it. One of the last places you might expect. By the way, so I believe we have our Titans mitts acquired. I saw that in chat we found Titans mitts. I don't see them on the tracker, and I guess I missed the chest.
I didn't see Titans mitts anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, Xylo
I wonder
might
if they're in the
might be
big
talking about
chest.
something else.
No, he already checked the big chest. They'll have the menu here in a second.
Yeah.
No, that's not Titan Smith.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not sure. We have false alarm on those Titans. You're good, Xylo.
He said Titan's Mess right after I mentioned Checkerboard Cave, and I started sweating. I was like,
Yeah,
what have I done?
Yeah, you just wished it. All right, so this should be pretty easy with lots of arrows and, you know, Armos Knight, not the most difficult boss. Pretty predictable when it comes to pattern. Just gotta pump them full of arrows, 3 each. Be careful that last one, and we are done. I do have to say, DaddyGamers did cut it pretty close, and getting the book as a reward. So that's not great, really. That's just kind of adding more things we gotta do.
Well, that's desert, right? And that's the red crystal.
Yeah, so that's not so bad then.
And that logically gives you reason for the glove. There could be something on Lamola's.
Yeah, so it's you're right. It's not so bad because we're, you know, as you mentioned, it's a crystal. It was on the list certainly anyway. But sure, they would like to get that Dark World access sooner rather than later and not have to worry about maybe having to do AGA, which they are able to do now. Except for that Moon Pearl, of course.
I wouldn't until I got the Moon Pearl, personally. Actually, they can also check Agina while they're over there, too.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Yeah, and I've seen many Moon Pearl on Agina, so we'll...
My favorite one is Hammer on Agina, and then you have no reason to go over there until it's just...
Yeah, you've truly last location that Sphere 1 check, and it's like, God, what I could have done with that hammer if I would have just walked over to the desert just a little bit. If I had a hammer. All right, let's see what it is.
Just big 20.
That's no fun. So now we'll go ahead and head into Desert Palace and see if we can. So Desert is almost fully clearable. Of course, we don't have boots and we don't know what that torch is going to have.
Yeah. If the big key is on the torch, then you can't get the Lamolas. If the small key is on the torch, then you have to hope the big key's not in the back, because you might just open up a chest and get a map.
Yeah, which is a bummer. I'm loving this near sync. I mean, we've really just got both of the runners very close to each other. DaddyGamers is actually taking the lead now, kind of throughout this whole process. It's very close.
They switched places in Eastern Palace. Elias went around to get the compass chest, and DaddyGamers just hookshot across the gap.
Oh, very nice. So just goes to show you those little room hints, those little tips. Those are the kind of things we try to outline as much as possible on the actual Go Mode podcast, and we definitely highlight that one. Torch. Oh boy, Oh boy. So
Little
yeah,
key is in the chest though.
yeah. Okay, so we can get some more items, but yes, unfortunately not gonna be able to do Lamulus like we wanted to. Best we can hope for is a Moon Pearl in here. But yeah, Go Mode Podcast, we try to talk about those little, room clear kind of things that can help you get a little bit of time up on your opponent in a race.
Yeah, no Moon Pearl. And TheDaddyGamers didn't use the mirror to get out of there. So that's a little bit of a time sink.
Yeah, still just walking. I wonder if
And
the
Elias checked the ledge, the desert ledge. There's just 10 arrows. And Elias saves and quits.
All right, so we've got that situation that I was talking about, I believe. As far as I'm aware, all they have is Zora or Aga. Okay, Elias is going
Elias
to Aga.
is going to Aga.
I wonder if TheDaddyGamers goes up to Zora. Do they have enough cash? I didn't notice. Yes, they do.
Yes, they. I actually checked when they pulled the 20 out of.
Oh, they're going to the tablet.
Ooh,
Forgot about that one.
That's clever.
Man, if there's a Moon Pearl in there, that is going to be a huge advantage for the TheDaddyGamers.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough spot to try to get back to.
Yeah, let's hope for Elias's sake that it's not up here, because that's going to be real awkward to come up here and. And a map check of Dark World. We have red crystal on Eastern, green pendant in Swamp, blue pendant in Turtle Rock. So sure we'll probably be there. We have an early Ice Rod and pendant Turtle Rock, which usually means you're gonna probably end up in there, unfortunately, looking for items.
Well, we have been pretty lucky about Turtle Rock. Both Turtle Rock pendant seeds have been completely empty. Nobody even touched them.
Oh my God! There's the Moon Pearl up on that tablet.
Oh
wow.
Boy, that's a big lead for TheDaddyGamers.
Holy cow! Man, what a galaxy brain play that was. We forgot that check was even up there with the book and the Master Sword. Wow.
If one of them had gone to Eastern first before going to Death Mountain, then they would have been able to get that tablet right then.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, neither one of them did it that way, so didn't really factor in. I would have to imagine that Chisame or Chisame, I guess we still haven't figured that out, but
Chisame.
I have to imagine that Chisame, okay, I have to imagine that they are very aware of both Zora and Tablet and will have them quickly check both of them as soon as they're done with Aga. But once they find out that there's nothing on the pyramid, that is. Or, I mean, there could be something, but, not Moon Pearl.
You know what would be rude is if it was like the flute or something. Just lead them further astray.
Yeah, ooh, yikes.
Or a mushroom.
That is something I've never seen, is a fetch quest. No Moon Pearl, but a fetch quest item on the pyramid, so you have to go back and get your Moon Pearl. That I've never seen.
I have gotten Shovel specifically on the
pyramid ledge.
Holy, and then
that's great.
Yeah, on the pyramid ledge, and then I went and dug up the moon.
Oh man, that's nuts. So, yeah, it was another Aga.
Yep, the Go Mode Aga tournament.
Well, Aga 1 is can be pretty tough, and we just want to make sure everyone gets a little bit of practice on their Aga 1.
Yeah, those blue balls can be hard to dodge.
Hey, if you just stand right in front of them, you're probably going to get hit by.
Actually, if you stand to the side and you line your elbows up, well, they don't have the link sprite, but if you line your elbows up with the top line of the bottom tile, you'll dodge the blue ball every time.
Yeah, it's pretty much what Elias essentially just did. I guess they've figured out sort of where their Moogle elbow.
Yeah, I've had to do the same thing. I used the Luigi sprite, so I had to figure out all that stuff with him after basically learning how to play the game with the Link sprite, because I didn't pay attention to the fact that you could change your sprite for a while.
Yeah, a lot of people just rocked Link at first, and then they gave you so many sprites it was like crazy to not pick your own by that point. Once you find out how. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what Elias does after being warped to the Dark World, and interested to see what's on Pyramid too.
There's been I think 3 different seeds where Pyramid has had something super important. So it could be.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah.
But the Pyramid, Purple Chest, and Aga have been like linchpins in a few seeds.
Yeah, Purple Chest too. Now that you mentioned that, I feel like a lot of the races I've spectated in week 1 had some pretty important stuff in Purple Chest too. All right, let's see what's on this Pyramid ledge. Oh,
Fire Rod.
Wow. That's not. I mean, that's okay. Actually, I mean, it's good that they got that, but I don't think it will probably lead them on any like wild goose chases or anything.
No, it won't. But it's a good item to have, because now whenever Elias goes to check the tablet, he'll be able to go do like Skull Woods and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, as soon as TheDaddyGamers gets warped here, they're just gonna go pick it up too. So it's, you know, they both. It doesn't really give an advantage per se. And it looks like they're going to Zora. Oh no, we know that they gotta get up there to that tablet if they want to make any progress.
Yeah, well, and hopefully Zora doesn't have a fetch quest. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen Mushroom or Shovel or Cape come out of Zora.
Yeah, I hope not. Elias having a little trouble with this fake flipper. Going to try to set it up using the diagonal setup. Okay, and gets it. Excellent. Seemed like we had quite a few blue balls from Aga 1. Might be the restream template that we have set up with all these blue balls. Maybe is bringing those out of it.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, is he going to do Hobo?
Oh, Hobo. Well, so we know this is sequence break because they don't have flippers. This is interesting. I wonder if they're just, you know, since they're doing this anyway, just figure they'll knock it out. But they also, you know, we have the there's a sword there.
That's a good find.
Yeah, we have the benefit of knowing, of course, you know, what the actual play is. So as we see them stray further and further from that, you know, it doesn't seem that crazy to them, but to us, we need them. We want them to go up there and get that Moon Pearl as soon as possible.
Yeah, so that they can get on with whatever they need to do.
Right.
But so the sword will help him kill things faster, though. I don't think at this point it'll be that much of a difference, because TheDaddyGamers is well into the Dark World at this point. But
it is interesting that it will give them a little bit of a sort of like execution advantage, you know, going forward, and it could be a while before TheDaddyGamers is able to obtain that same that same tool. They won't have that advantage, I should say.
Well, Swamp is a pendant, so flippers, and if there's nothing in the Waterfall Fairy, flippers could be in Ganon's Tower,
which is gonna incentivize them even less to do a check like that. Yeah. All right, let's see what the big fish has got for us. The nice one, nicer one.
A ripoff.
20.
8%
yeah, quite a life lesson.
Oh, there he goes.
There they go. Yeah.
Last location in the Moon Pearl's the worst.
Oro does point out the Ice Palace is a crystal, and traditionally flippers are.
That's
logically
true.
they're needed to get that. But it is possible, still to your point, that the flippers could be somewhere way out of the way and much more convenient to try to skip. And if the flippers are one of the last things found, then that still doesn't bode well for ever picking up that extra sword.
Yeah, there was a seed I watched in the tournament where neither runner found the flippers, and they both fake flippered into ice.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Elias getting their map check-in, taking stock of the Dark World. And just
he's
as you
going
predicted,
straight for the back of Skullwoods.
Yeah, you called it.
I mean, it's hard not to do this first because it's in the back, it's out of the way, and if you can do it right away, it cuts out a lot of time later on. Especially, they have the book, the mirror, they can check the ped.
Ooh, yeah, good point, Ped, definitely. The other thing is something that I'm constantly struggling with, which is, okay, yes, you can take on Mothula, but should you? And right now, I think they look like they're in pretty good shape because they do have half magic, somewhat low heart count, but we are in red mail, which is another sort of like check in the pro column.
Well, those spikes still do 1 heart of damage.
Yeah, no matter what. So it's going to be a challenge. There's no bottles, no powder, so this could be a nail biter. As long as they can get off 8 clean shots with that fire rod, I believe it's 8, right? Then they'll be fine. But yeah, they're gonna have to be careful.
I see TheDaddyGamers having trouble with one of the things I also have trouble with is finding that pot under the bridge. I don't actually know where it is. I just push A until I pick it up.
Yeah, I've been caught in the past. I've been good lately, but I went through a stretch where I did the same thing. I got caught on that thing like every single time.
Elias, however, if he goes straight back there, he has the tempered sword.
He's got that tempered, yeah, and that's so interesting.
Takes 4 shots on Mothula, so he is much better prepared for that.
Absolutely, and it's so interesting that they only have that because they were sort of incorrect in their search for the Moon Pearl, which we look at as a mistake overall, but it could, if TheDaddyGamers, God forbid, like takes a death here or something, and Elias heads over and gets it first time, then that's, I don't know, it's just kind of cool that it like works out that way if that happens. So, but hopefully TheDaddyGamers does not take a death. We're going to hope that they just get some clean shots off here against Mothula. Let's see what happens. Doing pretty good so far. No damage taken. Still plenty of magic. Ooh, it's getting close. Things are starting to get a little hectic, and they got it.
There it goes.
Excellently done.
So, well, he got good RNG there because Mothula stayed off spikes and stayed in the middle of the...
Yeah, and as you mentioned, those spikes will always do 1 heart, so as long as you can stay away from that, you won't take quite as much damage, and only losing 4 hearts through that whole battle, very well done with only 7 hearts coming in. Okay, let's get that head check in.
Now let's go kill Ped.
Yep. The mushroom.
Oh no. That's a giant question mark.
Oh boy. So the dream is still alive. As long as we are not in go mode, there is a chance that could be a fetch quest to eventually lead us to a go mode.
Oh, that's terrible. Let's see. What are the pendants? Swamp,
TR.
Trimax, and then they already got Eastern Palace. Ooh, I don't. They've got the Fire Rod, they've got the Ice Rod, they've got the Canis Samaria. They've got the Mirror, they've got the Hook Shot. They're missing what? The Hammer and Entry to TR.
Could it be Flute?
What do you mean? What?
Could I mean if they had to go? I mean, could that mushroom lead to a Flute? Like logically, I think that's still on.
Yeah, it could lead to a Flute. It could lead to the Boots. It could lead to another fetch quest that leads to mandatory.
All right, so Elias coming up on Mothula again has the tempered swords, so you're going to see mostly taking those swats. I definitely recommend throwing a few fire rod shots. There you go. All right, really got to be careful. They only have a heart and a half here.
Oh no! There we go.
Ooh,
that was
excellent!
Close.
Wow, that was clutch. And
I think we missed TheDaddyGamers checking the bumper ledge.
Oh, did anyone happen to see what that was? I did miss that. I was watching this clutch moth. Oh, just some bombs. Okay. All right, so Daddy Gamers is going to be checking the Village of Outcast items here. Let's see what we can... Ooh, a lucky 100 rupees at the beginning of that. Too bad that we don't really need that. Hey, what's up, Ladybox Thief? We got a restream. Thanks for joining. Shout outs to Daaanty. Had a lot to do with helping getting this restream set up, and of course Vash1978 for doing the restreaming and also tracking along with us. Shout outs to both of those parties and to all of you for watching. Oh, and of course to my co-commentator Blackwax. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's fun.
So we're getting our thieves. Ooh, there's the French vanilla. Very interesting. That, as we know, Titan's Mitts opens up quite a bit in the Dark World, so that's definitely going to allow us to get around to a few more different places, most notably Dark Death Mountain.
So if that mushroom leads to something, then flippers have to be in logic.
Yeah.
Easily accessible, not... And they could also be in like a really trolly spot, like the Thieves Town Big Chest.
Right, because we need to be able to get into Ice Palace to get that crystal. Right? Is that what you're saying? I might not be following.
Well, I'm saying if the mushroom leads to something, then because it's Ice Palace and Swamp, that they have to be in a more easily, I guess not easily, but like a more available spot than if it was just one or the other.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Oro pointing out that a restream template looks a lot like the Plando one, and that's because it is. Used with permission, of course. Nothing too exciting from Dig Game. I think it was like a piece of heart or bombs or something.
Yeah,
I already forgot because it was
because it was garbage.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see what old Jeremiah has got for us. As we know, thanks to a hint earlier, that was in Hera, I believe, the purple chest does have a unique item, so we will probably be seeing this through so that we can.
I wonder if that was the hint for the boots.
Oh, so you think the boots might be in there? That's not a bad guess.
I mean, boots are probably my favorite item, and so whenever I'm playing, I'm always trying to figure out, okay, is this the hint for the boots, or is it something else?
Yeah, and one nice thing about the boots is, for anyone who doesn't know, there is always one hint in the game that will tell you exactly where the boots are. So that's handy. It's always worth checking hints if you don't have.
Well, there's always at least one. Every once in a while, you get a doubled hint.
Yeah, you can get one that specifically tells you where the boots are, and then you can get one that's item location specific that tells you that the boots are there. So yeah, kind of two ways to give you. But there's always guaranteed that one that tells you outright where they are. You might not. It might not be somewhere that most people go during a rando seed. It could be one of those weird, out of the way hint tiles, but it will exist for every seed.
The dark ice one.
Yeah, like nobody. If you were to mirror to dark or be in the dark world over where Ice Palace or the Ice Rod Cave is, there's like a hint tile there that nobody ever checks because there's nothing over there.
So this is interesting. TheDaddyGamers mirrored out after he got the front 4 chests, and Elias is going for the whole thing.
Yeah, I wonder why that was. I guess they figured they would just come back and finish it up later. Being a crystal, it was, now that you mention it, kind of surprising seeing them. Oh, the lack of hammer. Thank you, Aura.
Yeah, lack of hammer.
That's why. Yep. So a lot of people want to try to come back when they have that hammer so that they don't end up having to orphan that big chest that's down in the basement. So that's definitely understandable. And I guess technically a little bit of a risk to go in without it, but I personally would probably do it. Ooh!
I mean, what if the hammer's on blind? What was it?
It's the hammer. the hammer's in the purple chest. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so,
Here comes Bombo's tablet.
So we need to really hope that there's not an item in the big chest for Elias's sake. Because otherwise when TheDaddyGamers does come back having the hammer, they will be able to go in there and get that item, whereas Elias is going to have to skip it if there's something there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Something else I want to point out is that they both dodged a bullet by going around the back into Village of Outcasts instead of into Pod. Because it's really easy when you have to go do Aga to just go straight for Pod.
That is true, and a lot of people, I think a lot of people have found value in Pod in past seeds and have resolved to never wait on it. A lot of people seem to go to Pod pretty early, so yeah, that's true, and it's fortuitous that neither one of them did that without the hammer, because now they can go in and full clear it when they go over.
Well, especially since they have the lamp, they have the bow.
Yeah, they've got everything.
The chances of finding the hammer in there at that point are pretty high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. They definitely lucked out there. We have a Hype Cave coming up, our first Hype Cave check. We'll see what kind of rating we can give this one, 0 out of 10.
Oh, there's another sword.
Ooh,
so
there's a sword.
Something.
That's at least 2 points right there. Shield, I'll probably give that 1 point.
2 shields.
And another shield. Okay, I'm going to call that a 3.5 out of 10.
I don't know. I give it a 5. The fire shield's at least useful. They haven't gone to blind yet, so that's a safety on blind.
Yeah, I could see that argument. Elias taking out blind with no sweat. Really was no danger there at all. And yeah, gets the shovel.
I didn't count the items.
I was just thinking that. I wish I would have paid more attention to the item count in Thieves Town to know whether or not there was an item in the... Maybe someone in chat can help us out. We'll see. I feel like when I looked over there, they were usually picking up items, and it seems like they might have got their 4, especially with Blind giving them one at the end. I want to say that they maybe were able to get all 4, but I cannot confirm that.
Here comes Pod. We'll see what treasure. So if this is bow locked, I personally would have got baited into this hard, because I would have been like, oh, there's something on bow lock side, and I would have dove. Oh, see, yeah, I would have totally gone all in on this.
All the bait was there.
If it would have been a small key, I would have been really skeptical about going any further.
Well, yeah, like you said, lucky that they resisted the pod temptation before now. That hint said that a heart container is held by someone friendly. Do you know what that hint can include in terms of like who are the friendly people?
There's Catfish, there's Zora, there's Sahasrara, there's the bottle vendor, there's Sick Kid, there's the witches.
Yeah, I don't love that hint. It's a little too vague. I think that's all.
I think there's one more. I thought there was 7. That was only 6.
Oh, Hobo.
Yeah, Hobo. There we go.
And Hobo actually had a sword, so that was sort of an interesting...
Well, maybe that takes the mushroom out of logic. The witches are someone friendly.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
God, that is a terrible item to put on a pedestal.
Oh, Agina doesn't count as someone friendly since you don't actually get anything from him. It's in his closet.
Doesn't that count as a sage's closet, though?
It does, and I think it can also be village elder, which is weird because that's not a village. The desert is not a village, but I guess...
Well, so the village elder is Sahasrara, and Agina's his brother. So I don't see how that would be the village elder either.
Yeah, but I just saw in a seed the other day, one of these Go Mode podcast tournament seeds that actually count. Like village elder can... Don't ask me why. Yeah,
Ether was in the basement.
Oh, in the basement of Pod.
Yeah.
Well, we actually, of course, we have not found the flute yet, so we do not know what sort of medallions we might end up. Oh yeah, Lady Box Thief. They were right. It was your race where it was village elder, and it was on a...
See, I didn't even know that was a thing because I always just assumed Sahasrara was the village elder.
Yeah, so we'll at some point on the podcast we'll do an episode on hints because I need it. That's how we decide what to do episodes on. By the way, is just like what I want to talk about.
Well, I mean that's a good episode to do because some of the hints just are terrible. Like we were talking last night. If you go through the Discord, I posted a picture of a hint I got for Ether in Desert, right next to Ether, on the Desert Torch.
Oh, those are always great. The no doy hint.
Or the hint for Link's house, that's basically a joke hint. The hint for what's on Uncle, that's basically a joke hint. There's the flute.
Right. Okay, so Ped is slowly becoming dead.
I think we've got boots as required items left on there.
Oh, and there's Quake. Two medallions in one dungeon.
Yep.
How about that?
So the medallion from Isring Meyer could still be on there.
Yeah, it could be Bomba. That is another potential Go Mode item. Well, obviously we don't know that yet, but we already saw what was on Bumper Cave too, right? So we know it can't.
Right, it was just bombs on Bumper.
You know, we also don't have any bottle.
Yeah, Sid Kid could be holding.
It's kind of unusual.
And Elias getting his butters.
So you have to imagine Elias probably also headed to pod right now with their new hammer. I guess that just because really they've sort of been taking the same path kind of through this whole seed. They've sort of switched, who's been ahead and who's been behind. Though TheDaddyGamers has been sort of ahead for the last little bit, but they're pretty much making the same plays more or less.
Yeah, Elias is basically just following him through the game, not knowing that he's following him through the game.
Right, and it all started because of the whole Moon Pearl situation being on the tablet, and TheDaddyGamers very, very heads up play of going to check that before doing AGA.
Yeah, I assume the mentor had something to do with that, because that's a location I would have been like looking at my tracker, been like, all right, what's left? Where can I go?
Yeah,
I missed something.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to ask him about that.
Also, you have to remember Elias already beat Blind, and TheDaddyGamers has to go back in.
No, that's true. Yeah, a little bit of an advantage there. Actually, that counts for quite a bit. I guess they're more even than I realized when you consider that. I actually forgot.
Yeah, because TheDaddyGamers dipped out because they didn't have the hammer.
Well, that keeps it interesting.
I mean, I understand that play because it's very nerve-wracking going into Thieves Town without the hammer. But at the same time, like, what if there's nothing there and you just put it off, and then there was something else somewhere else you could have got?
Right. When I'm going through seeds, I'm always like saying like, oh, what if that had been there? Or like, man, I wish I had this. But at a certain point, it's just like, yeah. So like, what if it did? I don't know. Like, I played it the way I played it, and it's I can't. That's just how I played it. So
Yeah,
that kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda is just like hopefully you imagine the racers hopefully are not focused too much on that right now, especially hopefully with their mentors kind of keeping them focused.
yeah. Well, I mean, a good example of that would be like Elias got the shovel off Blind, and TheDaddyGamers, like, if the shovel digs up something necessary, then that puts TheDaddyGamers behind.
That's true. Yeah, that shovel advantage.
But if it digs up nothing, that's an out of the way check, and it kind of evens things out a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. Still plenty of possibilities, and far from a finished race. I mean, even though TheDaddyGamers might have a little bit of a visible lead, as we've just sort of laid out, still a lot of game left to be played here. Oro pointing out in chat, interesting to see Elias actually going straight to Helma, and then one would assume going back to finish up pod after, instead of the more traditional dive the dungeon and then kill the boss. So that's interesting. Just kind of different strokes, I think. I don't know exactly how that affects your time, if that's faster or not, but it is nice to just kind of get that out of the way either way.
So doing this, if you don't have the mirror, it's faster because it gets you back to the beginning without a death warp. So, but he has the mirror, so I don't really know how that affects your time either.
It could also be this is just like wild speculation, but maybe that's like you're gonna have to do this, go ahead and do this, while you're doing that, let me just think for a second. let me just put all this info together in my head and give you a really good, solid plan where to go after this.
Yeah, it is good thinking time. That is a good point.
But who knows? Again, that's just it's wild speculation. I mean, they're gonna probably do full pod either way, one way or the other. So. Oh, Oro also brings up a good point. Depending on what Helmosaur King could hold or not hold, it could also give you the benefit of maybe being able to skip some chests. That was the map, so actually turns out that won't be effective. So, but that is a good thought, a good thing to check. If that had been an item and we're making our way through Dark Maze, you could check that last chest before the big chest and be confirmed that there's nothing in that big chest and nope out in some situations. So that could be good.
So I got a question. Is it faster to go check the bridge chest and then come back if it's a key and go upstairs and jump down? Or is it faster to do it the way he's doing it? Just jump down and then check the bottom chest and mirror back?
I think what I do at least is the second one, jump down and mirror back like that. I've actually never quite been sure. I kind of just let it depend on if there's a key in that first chest. Kind of what we decided on the episode is if there is a key, then you should just go straight through. If there's not, then obviously then you have to do bottle glitch or arrows or whatever. But yeah, I think just jumping down is normally what I would do. It's all conditional. Again, like you said, it depends on the mirror too, whether you have that. Obviously, that if you don't have that, it's not an option.
I like the arrow in the mini Helmosaur.
Yeah, I always forget that you can kill those with the arrows.
Here comes Blind.
So yeah, as Vash points out, there was just the map in Big Chest, so it ended up being okay to do Thieves Town without the hammer. So that gamble did pay off. DaddyGamers taking a shot at the script. Okay, it looks like they got the first 2 phases. Now they're going improv for the.
Yeah, I can never stay on script. I always slip up and get hit by a beam, or I hit him at just the wrong time and he just switches sides for some reason.
Yeah, pretty much is normally what happens to me too. But as we talked about this on our Thieves Town episode of the podcast too, if you can get the first 2, you're probably going to be just fine. So yeah, now we're seeing both runners basically finish up the one thing that the other had not done and kind of converging again. And as we saw some people predict in chat, indeed the next move is to activate Flute. And you have to imagine they're probably going to go ahead and head over to Meyer.
So, Elias, counting keys, was able to skip the chest in the attic. The upstairs pod chest.
Oh, you mean the Harmless Hellway?
No, the one where you bomb the floor and then go jump down it.
Oh,
and
Vanilla Big Key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice. That's Vanilla Big Key usually is a spend a key to get a key kind of situation, but as we know, with the pod key logic, sometimes it doesn't always work that way, and it's nice to see they were able to do that. All right, so DaddyGamers checking out some of these Meyer chests that we're seeing for the first time. There's our first bottle finally, and fortunately it's got some blue goo in it, which is probably the best thing you could find in a bottle.
Yeah, that's a pretty good safety. Especially since they only have 10 hearts right now. Actually, I think it's 9 hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, 9 for Daddy Gamers, 10 for Elias. But again, we've got that red mail, so that definitely softens that quite a bit. Daddy Gamers looks like maybe going to Dark Death Mountain.
I would. Like at this point, you've got everything for TR. You've got everything for Dark Death Mountain. If you can get access to TR, I would almost dip TR at this point because it just looks ominous not to.
Yeah, we didn't see a checkerboard cave check from Daddy Gamers, did we? That seems like maybe a miscalculation.
That's an interesting mirror spot.
Oh, and there's another bottle inside Checkerboard Cave. So ended up being okay for Daddy Gamers, provided they don't regret not having that safety that a fairy in a bottle would have provided. And
Boots.
there's our boots. Wow. All right. Well, that kills more of our ped speculation. I think the last.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think flippers are the only required
we
item
need
left.
For
but we
Ice
can
Palace.
fake flipper to Ice Palace, so it's not. I mean, that's go mode, right?
Yeah, it is go mode. There you go. So at 1:14, roughly 40 seconds, we have our first runner in go mode. And that was, of course, the Daddy Gamers.
Yeah. Go inside. There you go. Daddy
Of course,
Gamers getting
Elias
ahead
is
of
not
themselves.
far. Yeah, almost got stuck by a dead rock again. That was close. Elias, not very far behind. You can see that they're heading right to Super Bunny Cave, and they have all the same items, so they will shortly be in go mode as well, and it'll essentially just be an execution race from here on out. Then we also have, the what they end up doing in Ganon's Tower, which is always interesting and entertaining. So, still anyone's game. And another thing is, we both runners have at least a tempered sword. In Elias's case, we have gold, one bottle. We don't have silvers, so you can maybe make a case for checking a few items along the way. But I think they both also know this is a race. They're both probably feeling like they're in pretty good shape, or at least Elias will be once they get these boots here. Might just be trying to make it to the end as quickly as possible and forget about trying to get silvers. We'll just do silverless.
Yeah, silverless Ganon when you have tempered sword isn't that big of a deal. It's only really that scary when you have Master Sword.
Right. Yeah, that's the real problem. With tempered sword, I think it's 12 spins is what you'll need on Ganon, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. And then it's like 24 with the Master Sword.
Yeah. So Elias gets their boots, and they are in go mode. We'll see what they go to first. Okay, they are also going to go to Desert Palace and again follow in Daddy Gamer's foot.
Yeah, it's just right behind him every step of the way.
Relentless.
He is slowly catching up, but and I'm not sure what's. Oh, he's doing Meyer first. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter which one you do first.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me because you can just walk out, instantly mirror, and walk back. Well, actually, you can't really because you're going to want to go back over to that ledge. I guess it's just a matter of preference, really.
Yeah.
But this is great because now we have kind of a Meyer split screen. This is going to be pretty.
Well, so
it may.
I guess I would have done Desert first because I like sword beams for Meyer 1.
Oh, that's a good point. You finish up desert, you get your health refill, and then you've got your master sword beams for this room right here. That's smart. I like.
Elias
Oh, hey, we
tore
got.
that room up though.
Sorry. Yeah, no, that was great. I just wanted to point out real quick. Vash has changed up the template on us, and now we've got the Mire template for our split screen Mire. So shout outs to Vash. Thanks for making it appropriate.
That's really cool. I didn't even notice that.
Ooh, and it's the God Mire. Big key on the bridge.
Too bad he can't hover across.
Oh, man. So let's see. After this, I guess TheDaddyGamers will finish up Vitreous and go to Ice Palace. Go mode Ice Palace, which is real nice. And then it'll be actually kind of nice because you can go up and do Tower of Hera and then immediately mirror into Ganon's Tower. So that's kind of nice when that works out. It doesn't happen very often that way. Oh wait, I'm sorry. They got the Tower of Hera. Yeah, I misinterpreted the tracker. That's my bad. So help me out here. Sorry. The crystals that they do need, Ice Palace and this one Mire. Okay. So yeah, just Ice Palace and then we'll be done here.
Yeah. So it looks like TheDaddyGamers has a full dungeon lead. So this could come down to like routing Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely theirs to lose at this point. They got to hang on, and like you just said, the big key hunt will maybe be a little bit of an equalizer for us. But as long as they can, keep executing well like they are, then they look like a favorite. But everybody loves a good comeback story.
So Elias doing the same thing I do with Vitreous when you have the butter sword. Just swinging away.
Yeah, go for it. Just kill him. Ooh, taking some lightning right to the face.
TheDaddyGamer's having a hard time over here.
Ooh.
He's already used his potion.
I would have to give Elias advantage with that gold sword. I think that really made a difference here.
Yeah, the gold sword really cleans up those little eyes pretty fast.
So there you go right there. There's an example of, Elias making up a little bit of time there with that execution on the boss. One more heart left. They just have to be careful. Just be careful. Don't let him get too close. Takes quite a few slashes with that tempered.
Yeah, that is a tainty eyeball.
Yeah, and they managed to avoid death. Well done. Elias working just as hard as they can to finish up Desert. And then they'll head to Ice Palace. TheDaddyGamers is on their way there now. Vash in chat says, fun little fact, you can kill the big eye before the rest of the eyes. Is that true? I never knew that.
Yep.
That's crazy.
If
wow.
you do sword spins and you wait for the lightning to come out, and you're careful about it because the small eyes will still attack you, you can kill the big eye before you kill all the little eyes.
Does the fight end when the big eye is dead, or do you have to go clean up the little eyes?
Everything dies. It actually takes longer to do it that way because you're waiting for the big eye to come up. but you can do it.
Oh, that's cool. So TheDaddyGamers setting up, actually use the bomb to push them to the very side of the screen and set up their fake flipper that way. That was pretty clever.
I've had to do it a few times. Sometimes you just can't get that pixel.
TheDaddyGamers also stopping to get a bomb and arrow upgrade. Definitely a good choice getting into Ice Palace, but that is another area where if Elias opts not to do that, they've just caught up a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. It's not necessary, but I usually do grab the bomb upgrade before going into ice.
I might do that if I only had like 3 bombs or something, but I mean, if you can't get the Ice Palace bomb jump in 3 or 4 attempts, or are you going to get it in 7 or 8? I don't know. 10 seems like you shouldn't need 10, or else you're probably going to run out of hearts before you run out of bombs. I know that's not strictly true, but that's just kind of how I feel about it.
So you can also use bomb strats to kill the pen gators, and that eats up a couple bombs.
True.
And you have to bomb holes in this room up here, and it's just a safety basically.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of places to use bombs in here too. But if you have 10, I think you should be good. That's I guess my thoughts. Ooh, and misses the quick setup for this jumping Stalfo's room, but they did manage to clean it up pretty easily.
Yes,
and another shout outs to Vash. Yeah, that was cool, and it was a nice recovery on that. Shout outs to Vash changing up our template again, made it a little bit colder in here. Here we have our first IPPJ on the TheDaddyGamers side. Looks good to me. First time, excellent. Oh no, they didn't hit the button. They were probably like on so much like adrenaline from getting that first time. Like, let's go. They just completely forgot.
When I'm in go mode, I forget to hit that switch about 50% of the time.
I forget a lot of dumb little stuff like that when I'm in go mode for sure. But I went back and hit it, no big deal, and making their way quickly through the rest of the dungeon. So both runners have now handled all the crystals they needed to. This is the last crystal that we're looking for here, and then we'll be on the way to Gideon's Tower. Do we have all of our crystals marked on the tracker? I believe they are both caught up except for this dungeon, right? We might need to color one more. Or is Elias actually down with crystal? Okay, there we go. Cool.
Yeah, I think they're both. They both. This should be go mode for both of them. Their last dungeon.
Okay, Elias setting up IPBJ. All right, also gets a first time. Excellently done. TheDaddyGamers gets that initial spin slash, hitting all 3 of them into the corner. It's an excellent way to start your cold stare fight. Needs to be careful. These things hit really hard, and he's down to 3 hearts. Looks like he's going to go ahead and just burn that safety potion. Can't say I blame him. You do not want to die to cold stare. It's one of the worst places in the game you can die. Although looking at their heart count, looks like they would have been just fine.
Where did he get that potion from? He used his blue one on Vitreous.
I believe. Well, I mean, obviously they picked it up somewhere. I think they stopped at the Witch's Hut on the way, if I'm not mistaken.
So that's another time save for Elias then, because he didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Have to.
So the guesses are already rolling in. Those people in chat know what's up. It is about time to play our Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game. So we don't have the actual thing set up or whatever, but feel free to put your guesses in. We'll remember them, and we'll give you a shout out if you guess the correct location.
Do you have a number you like to guess?
I switch it up, and this time I'm going to say 6.
I always like to go with 9.
All right, we got 6 and 9. Nice. Elias finishing up their cold stare, no problems. Finishing up with 3 hearts left over, and now they're going to be heading up to Cannon's Tower. So let's see. I took 6, you took 9. We've got 7 and 8 in chat. We've got 15, and it's about your last chance to get those guesses in if you want to play.
I like how nobody's chosen number 22 yet.
It's just too obvious. The joy in it being 22 is the fact that it is 22, not that you guessed it, you know? Like, we all win if it's at 22. Lek coming in with number 1. He wants to see a nice, quick Ganon.
So what if somebody checks tile room before the last and it's in tile room?
Yeah, it goes by whoever steps into Ganon's Tower first, whatever order in which they get to the checks. So, I mean, they could go full right side, and that would be 1, 2 in Hope Room, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 in Compass, and then 7 would be the torch on left side. So, just depends on the order that the first person gets to them. And if they go straight to Tile Room, then that's probably like 3, you know, because they check Hope Room and then go.
TheDaddyGamers is looking for silvers.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is very telling. That sort of tells us they're maybe not super excited. Okay, and they find Blue Cane. Not super excited about having to do this without silvers. Who knows how Elias is feeling? We'll see if they head straight over or not. But man, if only TheDaddyGamers, yeah, if only they knew just how hot on their heels that Elias was, they would not have done that. And Elias is not checking; they're going straight there. So, how do you like this race, guys? Can you believe we're both opening Ganon's Tower at the same time? This is incredible.
Yeah, I think TheDaddyGamers, yeah, I think he only has like a couple screens of an advantage.
Yeah, it's very, very close at this point.
So that ends the big key guessing game.
Yep. So number 1, Blue Rupee. Number 2, Small. Sorry, Lek. It looks like they both went Hope Room and Imagine probably. Yeah, looks like Elias also going over to left side. There's number 3, just another small. Now, just a quick reminder, who knows if it's going to stay this close all the way through? Let's hope it does. But if these runners finish within 5 seconds of one another, for the purposes of this tournament, that is going to be ruled as a tie. So we'll be very careful to see if that occurs or not. Okay, there's chess 4, 5, 6, and 7. Nothing doing. I lose this one. We've got some others who are still in it. Coming up on number 8 in the Firebar room.
Silver arrows.
Well, how do you like that? And just something like TheDaddyGamers using a bomb there versus Elias using the instant cane. Like, look how much time they just made up right there. That's so awesome. They are going to lose their minds when they watch this VOD back and see how close they were. Yeah, and how much all this matters, you know?
This is a tight game.
And there's our big key at number 9.
I win.
So nice job.
I've never won before. So
Well, congratulations. And you did it on stream. That's very impressive.
yeah,
And here we are making the ascent. This is so.
literally, Daddy Gamers and Elias are steps apart from each other.
And even just minor stumbles in rooms like this could completely change the tides. Looks like they both made it through the spike room with a little bit of trouble, but both roughly at the same.
So it looks like they don't know that if you hold your sword out, they'll walk sideways.
Yeah, looks like.
Oh, Daddy Gamers is.
Ooh, and having a little bit of trouble in this second one. There we go. All right, back on track.
And now Elias is taking the lead back.
Daddy Gamers has to watch their health here. They both do, in fact.
Oh, yikes! I think we're gonna see a.
Yeah, a double fill-up room if they know what's good. Oh no, Elias is skipping it. Well,
wait,
he's got a potion. Oh yeah, he definitely has a potion. I'm not sure.
Didn't he pick up one in Oh, there's a fairy, anyways. Didn't he pick up one in Checkerboard Cave?
Oh yes, I think so.
Oh boy, skipping Phillip rooms giving him a really big advantage.
And Elias got a very clutch fairy drop in the over in the gauntlet. Elias really making their way through this gauntlet very quickly. Really excellent execution throughout all of this. And Daddy Gamers is going to have to catch up if they want to. Elias putting that gold sword to good use, taking out Landmalus with it. Of course, you can also use the silver arrows here, but it is tough to line those up, especially with that shooter aiming at you the whole time. So definitely makes sense to do Butter Sword if you've got it. Now, Daddy Gamers has their Fire Rod out, so I wonder if they'll maybe opt for the Fire Rod strats here. Oh, they're going for the arrows. Ooh, and yeah, like I said, those are a lot tougher than they look like they would be to line up.
Yeah, I generally don't go for the arrows. I
usually go for them, but this happens to me pretty much every time. So
I mean, I'm not good with the arrows. I don't do a whole lot of NMG, so trying to hit Lammoles with arrows is not my strong suit.
It's not easy. Okay, so Oro confirming. I don't think that Elias might have picked up that fairy. But I do think they have a potion. I'm pretty sure I saw them go pick one of those up before they came up here. Elias taking on Moldorm 2. No problems whatsoever there. Pretty easy, I'd say. And forsaking the validation chest. There's no reason to look in there.
For shame.
I mean, I get it. As much as I would love to know what's in there, I get it.
Daddy Gamer is low on health again. Really having a hard time in this gauntlet with only 9 hearts.
I would also just like to point out the time right now, 1:37. That's a really great time for either one of these, provided they finish up in the next 5 minutes or so. Yeah,
they're gonna sub 145 this, so
for sure. Ooh, gets a double to finish it off there. Nice job on Aga 2 for Elias. Yeah, so right here, we're really seeing how much of a difference it can make to have your execution go as planned as you're heading up Ganon's tower. Yeah, DaddyGamers even checking this chest right here, maybe looking for some help with health. I don't know, but if they had any idea just how close they were to being able to win this, they would not be making those sort of plays, So I wonder if they maybe thought that they were way ahead or are just not really too focused on, things like that. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, they did have a full dungeon lead. Oh, that's a fairy in a bottle in the validation chest.
Oh, that wow.
Be a big deal for them to be able to beat Ganon. I mean, DaddyGamers did have a full dungeon lead for all the way up until, on the way to Ganon's tower.
Yeah. God, man, I could not even, that is the one thing to be in validation chest that could make a huge difference,
Yeah, well, I think Elias still has a fairy in a bottle.
See, I don't think they do have that. Oh, they missed the torch glitch.
It's not a big deal. They have silvers.
Yeah, shouldn't.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
And that comes at a bad time, right? As DaddyGamers is about to drop in.
Oh,
now Elias has to climb back up the tower.
Elias takes a fall on Ganon, and now they are more or less synced up again. And Elias might even go get a safety here. Okay, they're gonna get that fairy. That makes sense.
If it'll stop running from them.
Holy crap, folks.
Wow.
So we have, so Elias has butter, right? So it's going to take less slashes and maybe one less phase or two. So this could tie. This could be within 5 seconds that they both finish.
Oh,
DaddyGamers gets an excellent positioning with that tempo.
I never read the rules on ties. So I don't know what happened. How do we resolve that? Did they have to play another game?
They'll have to rematch, yeah. Using that blue cane to just absolutely wail on Ganon and get through second phase.
And they're both teleporting.
3. Oh no! Oh wait,
the fairy in the bottle.
There's the fairy. Holy! You could not.
Oh my!
You could not
God.
Bring a better conclusion to this.
If he falls again, this is over.
I'm just watching with my mouth open, right? I'm sorry I'm not saying a whole lot, but I just cannot take my eyes.
One more shot.
So Elias has definitely got the advantage here.
Yeah.
Oh, and they finish it. Okay. Wow. Holy crap.
I gotta look at the times on this because this is... He's about to walk through the 1x3 bridge.
Yeah, so I don't... Okay, so official SRL time. Elias does win it. 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 53 seconds. GG Elias. Holy crap. What a...
Yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be a less than a minute difference.
Without a doubt. DaddyGamers just has one more. Ooh, be careful. And there it is. Wow.
Oh my god. This has been a nail biter. Are we gonna interview them after?
Hopefully, yeah, I would love to be able to get all 4 of them in for interviews. DaddyGamers with official SRL time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 45 seconds. less than a minute behind, 53 seconds behind.
Wow, that is a game. The things that came through to this, geesh.
52 seconds. Sorry, I can't do math. I can't even think straight right now. Wow, this was such an incredible race.
Literally, the difference between their times is the sequence break to Hobo.
You could go back through this and look at any single one, stuff like that. There's probably dozens of them, little things like that they made time for, that, you know, if they had cut just one of them out, that could have been a tie, or even could have gone the other way. Wow. So Vash, obviously this is our first restream. I don't know what is involved with getting them in for an interview, but if possible, we would love to have a word with all 4 of our participants. Awesome, dude. Now, thank you, sir. Holy cow. And you know that they both have seen those times, and Elias especially taking that fall, coming back and winning, and only winning by less than a minute.
Yeah. Well, what a first restream. This has been a ride.
Yeah, I'm very glad this is going to be on one of the YouTube videos on the Go Mode Podcast YouTube. This will absolutely be launched up there, and man, what a race. I just keep thinking back to everything that was done, was not done, you know, decisions that they both made, just thinking about how differently this could have played out. And there were so many times where we said, oh, you know, they're so close, just if this had happened or if that had happened. And every single one of those decisions ended up counting so much, you know, it's incredible. Okay, I think I need to do a little bit of tournament adminning to get them in here. Excuse me, just one moment. I'll get them added in here.
Hello.
Hello.
Who do we have here?
TheDaddyGamers is in here.
TheDaddyGamers, GG. What a race. I'm sure you've seen that SRL time, but man.
Yeah, I use Live Split, and I saw Elias clock in while I was in, like, what, the silver, maybe phase 3 of Ganon.
Yeah, phase 4 Ganon.
And I was like, oh my, like, it just hurts.
And
it just hurts so much.
you don't even realize how close it was, because Elias was quite a bit further ahead and took a Ganon fall in phase 3 and came back, and you both entered Ganon at the same time.
Yeah, he fell as Ganon was turning into a bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you were making the descent down to the pyramid, and it was pretty much a sync going into Aga, but you had the tempered sword, they had butter.
Oh, where was the
last sword?
Hobo.
Dude.
So he fake flippered.
Yeah,
he fake flippered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I cannot wait for you guys to go back and watch this, because there were, being that you finished less than a minute from one another, every single decision that both of you made mattered to the point where it won Elias the race, and it could have so easily gone the other way. So I can't wait for you guys to watch this and hear your thoughts. But let's start with Elias. Elias, are you there? Are you in the chat?
Yeah, I'm here now.
All right. So first of all, GG, congratulations, and to your mentor as well, Chisame. We never could decide which one it was. Chisame. How do you pronounce it? Chisame. Okay. Well, congratulations to both of you and GG. Walk us through that seed. I mean, what were you thinking as you were going through that, and how did you feel about it?
I mean, from the get-go, I had that foolish sewer death, which fortunately I hit sewer before I had it. From then on, I thought I was behind the whole race.
Especially that was pretty minor.
It was, but this is actually the third race that me and Daddy have both been in, so I figured he would have smooth sailing that early on. And then getting Moon Pearl as late as I did, I figured it would be a slow go for him too. But from that point, you're just like, well, I'm behind. Gotta cut corners when I can. That's how it felt the whole race.
Did you guys do Eastern or Mountain first?
Mountain
first.
Oh,
What did we?
Yeah, you both did. We were wondering. We kind of thought one of you might go Eastern, given that the bow and the lamp came up so early. But yeah,
We
you both went up.
did.
Yeah, you both went up to Mountain.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think about that Moon Pearl location?
oh God.
I mean, if we did this, our opponents must have did this, so it's fine.
Yeah.
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 Almost.
So I gotta ask,
I mean,
what was it? Was it the TheDaddyGamers idea to go up there, or was that the mentor to go up there and get the? Because you guys skipped Zora.
yeah, we did not touch Zora area.
Yeah, and that looked like a galaxy brain play from where we were sitting, because we actually had forgotten that the tablet was even in logic with the book and the Master Sword. So
Yeah, it was mostly like we have book and it didn't unlock it.
Yeah. That's ultimately what made us skip that. And also, we wanted to wait until we had flippers so we could do all the Zora checks.
yeah, so that was just one of several moments throughout the race that made it go the way it did and kept it so close. There were tons of lead changes throughout. The fact that TheDaddyGamers picked up the validation chest and it was a fairy in a bottle, just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Elias skipped it. So like that was another thing that almost equalized it. It was just, you could not have written a better race. So GG to both of you. It was incredible. TheDaddyGamers, walk us through kind of how your thoughts throughout the seed, and Espeon as well. Kind of what were you guys thinking?
So I actually said in the very, very beginning, I told Espeon that this was going to be close, and Elias already said we've actually raced each other before, just in friendly community matches. I actually did go back and see we raced in like an open or a standard SRL. Recently been within like 5 minutes of each other. So.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started practicing for this race, I started doing anything and everything. I learned water walk, which I learned all the dark rooms except Misery Mire. I learned green mail, master scan. Like I just did anything and everything where I thought it might give me an edge because I knew it was going to be close. Because he's good. Elias is good. Don't let him tell you different.
Well, yeah, we know now, and you are too. I mean, that again, it's just how close it was, and the fact that you were both able to stay within the race for a long time. I mean, we thought it was sort of the TheDaddyGamers race to lose, and Elias was going to have to do some catching up, and that's exactly what Elias did was kind of catch up, slowly throughout the race, and yeah, again, I cannot stop saying it, but just what an incredibly entertaining race to watch throughout. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Definitely.
Any other thoughts?
I would just say the other thing I'll say that came from the last match to this match was kudos to Espeon, because when he was mentoring me through the first match, hey, can you do this? And then he'd always say, it's okay if you say no. Plan. But what I did is I was able to say, I don't know if I can do this. I should probably go figure that out. Like shot, ice, palace, bomb jump. Like I had that ready just in case, because last time it hurt. I had to double dip ice palace. So kudos to Espeon for like kind of giving me things to like this.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool to hear.
Chisame did the same thing for me in my first race. There was a lot of we can do this, but if we can't, we can do this other thing. And kind of like you did, I practiced up for this one, especially focused on those things that the mentor had, pointed out was something I could have done had I been prepared. So all the mentors I've listened in on have just done amazing at this.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for all the mentors.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout outs to our mentors who are selflessly giving their time to, guide our racers through these seeds. And when they're able to be a part of one like this, I think it's really something special. So cool. Any other sort of final thoughts from any of our participants before we put this one to bed?
Yeah. Did we ever find flippers?
Nope.
No one found
Nope.
flippers.
No one knows where they are. Yeah, no flippers. Maybe
I
somewhere in Gans
suspect
Tower.
because you had everything for TR that they were somewhere in TR.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
that's
I
just
think
a
flippers were in
suspicion.
TR.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, they couldn't have been in Gans Tower because you needed them for Crystal. But yeah, that's a good point. We never found them. Neither one.
No.
So, but yeah, again, just thank you guys so much for an incredible race. GG to Elias. You actually will get a bye next week, and you have secured a spot in the bracket. So congratulations on that. And Daddy Gamers, you'll have a chance for redemption to make it into those bracket rounds.
Excellent. I'm going to claw my way back.
That's what I like to
Coming
hear.
after you, Elias. Coming after you.
You better.
So,
All right.
so is Elias the first one into the bracket stages?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So, congratulations, Elias, on being the first one to secure that spot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well earned. Well earned.
Well fought.
All right. So I guess we'll go ahead and close this one out. Again, thank you so much to both our racers and our mentors. Another special shout out to Vash for the restream. Looks great, and it was awesome to be able to provide this, especially this race. Like could not have asked for a better one. Special thank you to my co-commentator Blackwax. Thanks for watching and commentating along with me, sir.
It's been fun.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and say good night for now. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Be sure to check out the Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tournament schedule for upcoming races and join the Discord to chat along with all of our racers and mentors. But again, my name is Timp. On behalf of my co-hosts for Go Mode Podcast, Axial and Herfy Durfy, we're going to thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you for the next one. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.